let's begin with this. How'd you enjoy the skills competition on Sunday? It's probably kind of nice to connect with the fans in sort of a laid back environment like that.
Yeah, no, it was pretty fun. I mean, we hadn't had one since January 2020, right before the first COVID. So, been a few years since we done it, and pretty good turnout too. So, no, it was awesome, and a couple young kids were out doing some competitions on the ice too, and as well as a couple of the Canadian national women's girls. So, it was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and you won the hardest shot. Was this expected? Who was the betting favorite?
Yeah, I think well the last time I did it, Nick Paul won it. I think I forget what he shot, maybe around 102 or 103. And I actually went in it back in 2020 when I was 98. And I remember Shabby was like 102 or something back then. And we were lined up against each other today, me and Shabby. And I went first. I got like 96 on my first one. And then I got 102.9 on my second one. He got 102.5 and everyone else went, but I think the highest after us was like 100. So we went a championship round. And then I got 101 on my first one and then 103.9 on my second. And he was like 98, 98. So
Total.
yeah, we put a little wager on the line too, a little burger and sweet potato fries. So he owes me that.
Were you in on any of that wagering with Team Canada and Team USA?
Yeah, I mean, it was Sanderson and Brady against me and Shabby. We actually never came up with anything before the game because it was like the morning of. We decided we're going to do a thing, and I think we decided maybe just a lunch on the next road trip or something. Nothing too crazy. It would have been nice to have like a Team Canada jersey for today's skills competition to wear, but yeah, no, it would have been a good idea, but I didn't think of it till after.
Now they say that, and it's obvious, younger players that come into the league now are so much more skilled than they used to be. But I'm interested, even in a small little window here, how much more skilled do you think these guys are now compared to even you? Like these guys are incredible, are they not?
Yeah, it's funny. Like me and my cousin were talking about it the other night. He's like, man, like imagine all these kids like seeing these Michigan moves and stuff. Like wait till like 5, 10 years down the line when these guys come in the league, their hands are going to be unbelievable. And like, I never thought about it, but like kids at home are probably just doing these moves like all the time. And yeah, even now, like the young guys coming in, like the young stars around the league, they're all super talented, unbelievable hands. And, they're able to produce right away because they're so skilled.
I wonder if Connor Bedard ends up on Anaheim with Trevor Zegras, what kind of magician sorcery that they're going to come up with potentially next year. But that's a long way down the road. But one more thing on the hardest shot, Drake. You hear some players, they talk about, okay, we destroyed the garage door, or we, beat up the clothes dryer in the basement. Did you have a particular spot that you used to work on your shot to get it where it is now?
Yeah, like I remember we built a house when we first moved from Germany to Canada, and it had an unfinished basement, so it was all like cement walls, cement floor, and like pretty much half the side of the basement was just so I could shoot pucks. And like I remember one year it was like my first or second year at him, we had a like shooting pucks competition as a team, and I ended up shooting like 15,000 pucks or something in a certain amount of months. And like it was funny, I was going to high school years later, and we moved into another house, and I was going to high school with the girl who bought the house off us. I'm like, is it, all those puck marks still on the wall down there in the basement? She's like, oh yeah, they're all still down there. So no, it was a lot of time down there. And honestly, like whether it was in the backyard, the driveway, or the basement, I was always just ripping pucks. And in the summertime we didn't have ice in my hometown, so that's all you could do. And nowadays I feel like everywhere the kids are skating all year round, but I never went on the ice from April to August, say. So I was doing that a lot.
And I think it's safe to say your shot is probably the strongest part of your game. Like you looked more as a shooter, a goal scorer type guy. Now, have you always had that? I'm always interested in goal scorers and confidence levels and how you work through things like that, where maybe they're not going in so much. And you even had a situation like that, I guess, a little bit in November. They weren't going in as easily. What kind of goes through your mind, or what kind of things do you work on, or do you make changes, or what happens there?
Yeah, I mean, ever since like I started playing major junior, everyone would always tell me, like scouts and management here, just kept telling me to use my shot more, use my shot more. And I don't think I had like confidence in myself to know that I had that good of a shot. I mean, I've always scored a decent amount, but I've never scored an outrageous amount. And I think now I've been using my shot more. I think already on the season, I think I have 140 or 130 shots on net. So I think the whole COVID year, I maybe had 120 in 56 games. So just shooting the puck more. I think you look at guys, say Ovechkin, he's got however many shots on net in his career, and he's got however many goals. So obviously, the more you put on net, the more they're going to go in. And yeah, it's something I work on a lot. And yeah, you just gotta have confidence. I think even if you go through slumps, you just kind of got to stick to it and keep doing your thing, and eventually the bounce is going to go in. And I've said this before. There's so many times in a year where players have ups and downs.
Yeah.
You're a consistent goal scorer. Everyone will score 50, right? So it's tough, but when they're going your way and you're getting the bounces, obviously, you kind of get on a roll, and I've been able to do that.
Yeah, I'd say so. I just did the math just before we came on here, and you have 20 points in your last 16 games, and that includes the 13-game point streak, third longest in franchise history. Maybe a word on the streak and why it's gone so well here, particularly in the last month, not just for you, but for everybody.
Yeah, no, it's weird. I mean, when I was struggling, people were kind of all over me a little bit, asking me why I'm not producing stuff, and I just kind of kept saying, like sometimes you get those bounces, and I remember looking back to the COVID season, I had one goal in my first 16 games of the season, and then I scored 6 in a row, and everyone kind of forgot about it. And it's just, I feel like there's so many situations of myself and guys around the league where that happens, where you'll get a one goal in 15, and then you'll get 5 in the next 5, and then no one will ever talk about it. So it's weird, but yeah, no, the streak was cool. Can't thank the boys enough. There's a couple of those assists, and one of them in Detroit, I remember to keep the streak going. I wasn't even on the ice. I made a breakout pass and changed, and then Alex took it all the way down the ice and hit someone to score. So, I mean, obviously there's a little bit of luck, but no, it was a cool run. Obviously wish I could have kept it going, but team was winning too at the same time. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's the other part of Steve's thought there is like the team's on a roll. And we don't need to talk about last night, but what's changed? What's going here? Obviously, some things are happening more on the luck side. Some things are happening more on the law of averages. But there's got to be a different feel going on here. You guys are feeling better about things. What exactly's led to this success lately?
Yeah, again, I think it comes down to just like certain bounces. Obviously, like I felt like earlier on in the year we'd be like right in the game, and then one bad bounce, boom, we lose. Then we can't tie it up in the third, and then we pull a goalie and they get an empty net. Like there were so many situations like that in the first 20, 25 games. And then now I think we've just been playing well. I mean, we've been getting good goaltending, getting a few guys back from injuries, hopefully a couple more guys soon. And I think the new guys kind of just, feel more comfortable at where they're at. And everyone on the team kind of just, I think, knows their role now. At this point in the year, we're almost halfway there. So just getting more comfortable. And, we're at the point in the season where I feel like the standings, they're so close. There's like 6 teams from that like third spot, and then the 2 wild card, and then down. It's so tight. Like if you go on a 5-6 game heater, say, you could be right in that mix. So I think we see that in the standings, and we know we want to play meaningful games towards the end of the year. I mean, in the last couple of years we've been out, I feel like in February, so it's been kind of tough, and we're kind of done with that. So we want to make sure we're capitalizing on these chances and winning these games. Obviously, last night wasn't good, but the good thing about the NHL, you get right back at it tomorrow. So obviously, Nashville's got a good team, so it'll be a good one.
No doubt, and it's like you're talking about. You're going to have moments in an 82-game season where things just go cold for whatever reason, and it certainly, God, the Kraken just seemed like every opening on goaltending that they could find, the puck somehow weaseled its way through there. Just one of those nights, and the goaltending, like you say, has been really good. I want to ask you though about some of the new guys you mentioned there, and Mark Kastelic ends up being the fastest skater in the skills competition today. I don't imagine any of the boys saw that one coming.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, I feel like as a big guy, like Mario Lemieux, for example, like he never looked like he was going fast, but he was going fast. Like I remember my dad telling me that at a young age, like see Mario there, like he doesn't look like he's going fast, but he's actually flying. So it's a little bit deceiving. You know, you got a 5'7" guy out there, his legs are going a million miles an hour. Where see a guy like myself or Cass, like we're 6'3", our one stride is like 2 or 3 strides for those little guys, you know. So he actually won our skating competition conditioning camp. So I mean, I know he can skate and he's in unbelievable shape. So that was pretty cool. It was pretty close. I think it was like 0.2 or 0.3 from pretty much everyone else. So no, there's a lot of fast guys out there. But yeah, Cassie took her home. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask about Jake Lucchini, 27-year-old rookie, scores his first goal. It must be exciting, not only for him, but for the rest of you. Probably get pretty worked up over the whole thing too.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. I mean, for me personally, I love seeing guys in his situation succeed. I mean, last year he was on an AHL deal, kind of got traded over from Laval, puts up a point a game in Belleville, and I heard a lot about him. I'm pretty close with a lot of the guys still down there in Belleville, along with the coaching staff and trainers, and heard a lot about Jake. And then obviously you got an opportunity up here, and I love seeing guys who grinded down there for so long and then finally get that chance. They come up, they're so excited. You know, the first per diem, first road trip on the plane, like it just brings you back and makes you appreciate it more when you see guys come up and see how excited they are. So it was awesome. He's got a ton of skill, works hard, and he's honestly just a great guy and enjoys every bit. And it's been fun having him in the room and bringing that excitement every day. It's been great.
Yeah, it seems like it's a fun room that would be easy for a fun guy like that to sort of streamline himself into. That's pretty cool. And Tim Stützle is one of those guys, and I want to ask you about, man, you've had a great month. He's had a fantastic month. Had the hat trick in that weird game against Seattle,
Yeah.
and he's only 21 as of next week. I think his birthday's actually next week. And you start thinking, Drake, about where you were at around his age. Like he must be just blown away by the leaps and bounds his development is taking right now.
It's crazy. Like his first year in the league was my first year major junior. Like it's unbelievable to think he's in his third year now. And he's got even so much more to go. He's dominating right now. I like wait till he's like my age, 24, 25. Like it's gonna be insane. He's a rising star. He's one of those guys, one of the few guys around the league that can take the puck in the neutral zone and I feel like make something happen like 4 or 5 times a period. So it's pretty cool. He's one of those guys you kind of get on the edge of your seat when you're watching like McDavid and these guys. You think they're going to do something every shift, and he's kind of the same way. And he's kind of got that flash to him. Like my buddies come up, they say they just love watching him because he's so flashy and he's so competitive too, which I love. He's got a lot of fire in him and unbelievable guy. And yeah, he's only about to turn 21, which is crazy to think. And averaging over a point a game this year and been a huge part of our team for sure.
We can't let you go without checking on the doctor's reports. What's the latest on Norris? I guess Norris, Mott, Joseph. Can you give us anything on the inside scoop there?
Yeah, no, I think Joseph is pretty soon. I think even DJ said in the media the other day he's probably going to play on the next road trip.
Right.
As for Josh, I'm not too sure. I mean, he was out there flying around the skills competition today, picking targets in the accuracy shooting and doing the relay races. So, I mean, he looks ready to go to me. But obviously, with the shoulder, you got to take your time. And I feel like when you're ready, you're ready. You don't want to come back and be hesitant. You want to come back and hit the ground running. So I know from being out a while with an injury, that's how I was. And talking with him, he's the same way. So hopefully soon. Obviously, it'd be a huge help. It's top 2-line center who's making $8 million. You want him in the lineup. So
you're chirping guy, and people are chirping about that, no doubt.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy to have just in the room for the morale and on the road too. So, and as for Mott, I think Mott's a little bit away with his hand there, and Chartier too. So they're still a little ways out. But I know Mott's skating, so I think he's just getting the bag skates because he can't probably touch with the hand. So that's kind of tough, but no, it'll pay off for him. Hopefully back in the next few weeks too.
Good.
Do you guys at this stage of the game, as we enter the second half of the season, do you guys talk in terms of goals? Do you even let yourself think about playoffs as a possibility if you keep playing this well? Or do you just do the old cliche thing, one shift at a time, one game at a time?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you play someone in your division, it's a big game. Like the Buffalo game the other night, I remember they were up 3 points on us, and say they beat us, they would have been up 5. As for
Right.
we beat them, and now they're only up 1. So those are big games to win. Obviously, we won that one, and yeah, it's weird. Like you say, you win one night, and a few other teams in your division all lose. Like it's a big step, right? So if you can put 5, 6 together, and I mean, it's tough to hope for a team to lose 3 or 4 in your division, but you never know, right? So, I mean, it is one game at a time, but obviously we're looking ahead. And I feel like the months we had in December, we were like, I forget the record, like 9-4-2 or something like that. Like if we can do that consistently, have another month like that, see where we're at. There's a lot of hockey left, so there's like over half a season. So a lot can happen, which is exciting. And yeah, I feel like when you're halfway through a season, you kind of get in that dry spell where it's not really like at the start of the year, everyone comes out guns a-blazing, where right now we need a win game. So I feel like we're going to continue to do that. So it's exciting, and every night's a big game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, our chat with Drake Batherson is brought to you by Jim K. Ford. And before we let you go, how are you enjoying? It's the Ford F-150, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Nice stuff.
No,
Nice stuff. You're
it's
enjoying
been
it?
great. Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, it's getting a little colder, a little snow on the ground, but getting me from point A to point B nice and safe and on time. So can't complain.
Drake, great to have you on as always. Keep her going as we enter the second half, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for
Thanks,
having
Drake.
me.